Hey guys, this is Ali. Today we are going to proceed to configure our DNS server as we have already Active Directory to our new infrastructure. So let's get started and configure our DNS server. Since we already installed Active Directory yesterday and we added to our new infrastructure, when we were installing our Active Directory, at that time we already checked the DNS server to be installed. So right now we need to configure our DNS server. If in case you don't check that box at the time of AD installation, or when you are promoting your AD to the domain controller, if you didn't check at that time, you can do it here. Simply just on the server manager wizard, you can come here and add a new feature just like we did for AD, and we select here the server, and we only have to check the DNS checkbox in order to install the DNS server, and everything is pretty same. You just go next, and finish. Once you do that, you have to configure your DNS server. So we already have our DNS server installed. We need to configure our reverse lookup zone, and the forward lookup zone is already here. Actually, forward and reverse lookup zone are the storage units which store the domain name, the server names, and the IP addresses for those servers. So any server which will connect to this DC server, it will dynamically update the record and it will be stored here. So if your DNS server is not Active Directory integrated, so the forward lookup zone will have no data, no zone data. So for that you have to create a new zone, and this you need to just right click on the forward lookup zone and select new zone. Click next, primary zone, and you will see this option. Computer is the DC or the Active Directory is installed, and you want that the Active Directory DC also perform the DNS services. So you will see this option here. So this option will be only available if the computer on which we are installing the DNS is a domain controller. Click next. Here are the different options. You can select how the DNS server will control, or they will replicate the data of zones. You should, if your environment is very small, you can choose any one of them. But suppose your environment is too big and they got hundreds of servers there, domain controllers, so you should be very careful to choose the first option, because it will generate a lot of replication data traffic, and that will be a bit difficult for your network to handle. So better to go with this option. Click next. Now you can give the zone name. Since we already have the zone name, I'm just doing this to demonstrate how the new zone will be created. Always choose the secure dynamic updates. And this is it. This is your new zone, and once you finish it, you will have something like this, where you will see all the records and everything. But right now we don't have anything in reverse lookup zone, so we need to create the reverse lookup zone. Click next, primary, same like here, same option. Click next. Alright, the second option to this domain, click next. We are using IP version 4, so select IP version 4, click next. Now the network, which network we are using. So it's like 192.168.0. The reverse will be from the reverse side. Click next. Allow only dynamic, just like in the forward lookup zone. You need to select the first one. Allow only secure dynamic updates. Click and click finish. And here's your reverse lookup zone. Right now we don't have any clients other than our DC. Let's update the pointer, associate the pointer record, apply. Okay, so if I refresh this, it should come over here. So this is how you will create pointer records. So whenever you create the new host records, and you need to select create associated pointer record, it will create a pointer record in your reverse lookup zone. DC configuration is already done, almost done. So what we need to do, we need to power up our all other server and point them and tell them who is your DNS servers. So I will pause the video once all the servers come up, then we will configure the DNS server in those clients. So in future, if they want to look up for any servers or look up for the AD, we can easily log into the Active Directory and we can find any other servers. Seems like our server is already up, so let's configure DNS server on this server. Alright, let me log in. Seems like I have already configured DNS server. Let's configure DNS server on our ESXi host. It's 192.168.0.220. Uh, 0.220, and that's it. All right. Okay, custom DNS of X. All right. And yes, is that you want to check whether your DNS is alive or not, you can do that by test your network. And let's do it. All right, this looks good. Okay, resolving name is not there yet, so we will check on that. Okay. So let's check here. Alright, let's create the host record for our ESXi host. Alright, what's the IP address? 168.0.240 something. Let me reconfirm. Alright, so create a pointer record, add the host. Okay, it's done. Let's do it for the second host. $241, and alright, that's done. Let's go back and check. Yes, let's check it. Alright, that's great. So this is how you are configuring your DNS server on your member servers and any other ESXi host. Next, we will be installing our ESXi host. Another one, I already have two ESXi hosts here. But I will do installation for another ESXi host just to demonstrate how to install the ESXi host, and we will add it to our infrastructure. Thank you very much for watching, and please share if you find it informative. Thank you.